Hello everyone, welcome to Newbie's Cataclysm Assassination Rogue PvP guide. We're gonna have some small introduction part in which we're gonna talk about spec and change that have been made since Rise of the Lich King. Then we're gonna cover stats and gear, talents and glyphs, poisons and abilities, rotation and some gameplay in the end. I hope this video will help you in understanding the basics of this pack. So let's get started. Okay, Assassination Rogue had more or less some minor change from Wrath of the Lich King. The biggest change compared to Wrath is probably that we are now forced to go full mutilate talent tree instead of avoiding last talents and going for preparation from subtlety tree to get that second cold blood and reset on our crucial abilities. That has been replaced with our ultimate ability called Vendetta. On one side we don't get that burst that we have with double cold-blooded and venoms, but it increases all our damage down by 20% for 36 seconds. That 30-second gap allows us to do more sustained damage in arena and outlast the big defensive cooldowns from enemies. Assassination still remains one of the best tunneling specs in game if you get healer behind your back, and with that is one of the reasons for that. Also, this spec now relies much more on poison damage and rework talent like wild poisons and mastery stat in gear. Mutilated Rogue deals huge amount of magic natural damage with poisons and in venom. So why this spec isn't as popular as Subtlety Rogue? Well, in the first place, it's a control that we got through preparation for double vanish, double sprint kick, double smoke bomb, double disarm and double shadow step. Shadow Step is very important ability to keep enemies closer and from control to Shadow Step kick combo, Shadow Step gauge on healer and so on. Assassination is very limited when it comes to mobility. Once kited, you have no chance on getting close to enemies, and that's a big handicap. All the casters are scared because of Shadow Step, and it's completely changed the fight, especially knowing that you also have 2 vanishes, local shadows and 2 smoke bombs. That's how sick preparation ability is. We'll talk about talents and abilities more precisely in this video, so let's break all the things down one by one and see how good this pack actually is. Like always, first thing you want to chase in PvP is 5% hit rating without talents. Of course, if you spend up to 2 points in precision, you can adjust your hit rating you get from gear. More about talents, from where we get that 2 points for precision and how it affects our stats will be in talents parts of the video. For now, it's important to hit 5% hit rating in any way. Next thing, of course, is at least 190 soft cap or up to 240 spell penetration against mages, since we rely so much on our deadly poison, instant poison and envenom, which all deal natural damage. If you have 0 spell penetration, your enemy can completely resist your ability or greatly lower your damage. It's not nonsense, you need to cap this stat. Resilience, keep it around 3k at least. If you wish to go some bursty comps or some more juicy damage builds, you can go for PvE items with just mastery and critical. Still, for normal builds, I would say that resilience is more important than the critical and definitely more important than haste. For offensive stats, agility is the most important one, since one agility gives us 2 attack power and some critical. That attack power scales with every single instant poison, overtime poison, bleed and envenom damage. Definitely most important offensive stat. After that we go with mastery, since it increases poison damage where also envenom counts as a poison. Then we go critical and haste. Critical is important for combo building, as critical abilities gives us 1 more combo point. Haste is third stat. Yes, it's important for faster auto attacks and energy pool, but I think that Slice and Dice does enough work there. So, gear is pretty standard with full PvP set, where at least 1 item should have hit rating with or without talents. If you don't pick precision, you need 2 or 3 offset items to reach 5% hit rating. Just make sure to leave all the items with mastery stat, so change preferably expertise or haste for hit rating. Next to hit rating, make sure to reforge all the offensive items into mastery stat. Go with 4 spell penetration gems, and ideally you go with tailoring enchant on back instead of spell penetration. For gems, go with 367 agility from geo crafting. All other gems depends. If you have agility bonus like on shoulders, hands and waist, you want to go with proper colors. If it's red, just go agility. If it's yellow, go with 20 agility and 20 mastery and unlock that passive 10 ability bonus. All other slots that give you bonus resilience, you can fill with pure agility instead. You probably won't miss with pure agility gems either, difference is pretty small. When it comes to enchants, go with agility where it's possible. Main hand landslide enchant, 1k attack power proc, and offhand weapon chain for disarm and some minor bonus hit rating. Trinkets are important to have, and absolutely banger is PvP trinket with agility usable effect that you'll be using in your macro with Cold Blood, Vendetta and Venom. That bonus of attack power is just superb. If you are human, other trinket could be something like one hit effect like Dark Moon Hurricane, or some trinket with pure attack power or agility in combat proc like Unheaded Warring or PvP Vicious Gladiator Conquest. That's more or less everything for gearing part. Let's jump on talent build. Okay, we start talents by going over Deadly Momentum and going for 3 out of 3 Coptic Grace and Lethality. Lethality point could be dropped since we use just Mutilate from there, but 3 points is also an option. Ruthlessness 3 out of 3 because we will be using a lot of finishing abilities. It comes very handy to get 5 combo point finisher and instantly get 1 combo point after that. To use abilities like Rapture or Recuperate without using any other combo making abilities and lose energy and global cooldowns. Quickening gives us 20% healing from Recuperate and some bonus movement speed, which is useful. Puncturing wounds absolutely 3 out of 3. With these talents you can actually try playing with Backstab talent, which we'll cover in a minute. Blackjack is an optional talent for dueling against certain enemies because 70% reduced damage for 8 seconds when you open is really a huge deal in 1 vs 1 and could be a nice trick. Then we have a Deadly Brew that whatever poison we apply, we also apply a crippling poison. And Cold Blood is a must and Wild Poison is a must since it increases our poison damage by 36%. Tendon Nerves is also optional talent for Arena, especially 3 vs 3 where you need to be a little bit more tanky. 9% with Resilience is not a small thing. To use this one you would need to drop both Backstab talent and one from the Lethality. Seal Fate, yes, you need these bonus combo points. For example, with Crit Mutilate you get 3 combo points instantly, which is a huge deal. And now Murderous Intent. This one could be useful if you got great gear and potion or critical strike. Why? When enemies below 35%, your Backstab costs 30 energy instead of 60, while your Mutilate costs 55 energy. Damage from Backstab is a little bit lower I think, but it gives us 1 combo point, while Mutilate gives us 2. Combo points are outperforming pure damage and that's the important thing. So we actually need 2 backstabs to make 2 combo points, which is 60 energy. But if you get some nice potion critical strike and your backstab crits a lot, you can make these talents worth it. But again, it's usable just under 35% health. I personally don't play with this talent, but like I just explained, you can give it a shot in Arena. In Arena with a healer you can make your energy more worth with this talent, you make more damage, more combo points, and that's a good thing to finish off some guy. Overkill of course, Master Poisoner of course, improved exposed armor no. You won't use this a lot because your main source of damage is magic damage. If you need to use exposed armor you'll be using it for like 1 or 2 combo points, ideally when Ruthlessness gives us 1 combo point after a finisher. Then we got Cut to the Chase, talent that refresh slice and dice up to 5 combo point duration. I think you can easily gamble with 2 points because you use Envenom a lot, so 67% is not a small chance. Slice and dice is important ability to be up all the time, so if you don't wanna risk, go with 3 points, but if you want to risk and spend talent someone else, I think you can give it a shot. Venomous Wounds, 2 out of 2, you'll be forcing these talents all the time with low combo point ruptures in Garrett. Their ticks have 60% chance to proc some nice instant damage every time they tick, regardless of combo points spent on rupture. Also it regens 10 energy each time it procs, so yeah, it's definitely must have. And we now need to spend some talents to unlock the ultimate. This is just your choice, which depends on purpose and type of PvP you want to play, which I tried to explain for each optional talent we had. After that we jump on Subtlety tree, where we go with Ruthless Strikes, Night Stalker, Opportunity, and last 2 points are between Elusiveness or last cooldown, which I've been using a lot for Battlegrounds to make more videos, or 2 points into Precision in Combat tree for 4% bonus of hit rating. If you pick Precision, you'll be able to get a little bit more offensive stats through gear, because you will switch needed hit rating into Critical or Haste. And there are some more examples for improved Recuperate or totally defensively oriented build with both dead-ended nerfs and improved Recuperate for Arena 3 vs 3 without S&D talent. When it comes to Prime Glyphs, you can go with Glyph of Mutilate, your main combo point making ability, then we go with Glyph of Vendetta to increase its duration, and third is optional Glyph of Slice and Dice and Rupture. Keep in mind that Rupture Glyph is not about damage but about the effect it produces with the Venomous Wounds talent. The bigger duration, the more ticks and more chances to proc it without spending more combo points on Rupture. For Major Glyphs, I like using Garath to increase its silence duration, which really is a great thing against casters, paladins and DKs. Then Glyph of Evasion to increase its duration because of face-to-face fights. The more time on target, the more damage Assassination Rogue deals. And my personal last major glyph is Blind, to remove all kind of damage over effects like bleeds and poisons on first place. It gives you opportunity to force enemy trinket and then go with full 5 combo point kidney shot on target. Very useful glyph. Some other choice could be Glyph of Cloak of Shadows and Spring. Minor glyphs are useless, like always, pick whatever you want. And with that being said, that's more or less about talents and gear. Now we move on some basic stuff about poison and abilities. Okay, I'll try to be fast as possible here, pointing out the most important abilities, when and how to use them. But before abilities, let's talk about poisons for those who don't know what poison should they use as Assassination Rogue. Main weapon is slow weapon, 1.8 speed, and you normally go here with instant poison for biggest damage output. Also, this weapon is one you switch poisons on. If target has a lot of hits like healers or retribution paladins or DKs, especially blood and so on, you can go with wound poison. Ideally, you want to have two same weapons with different poisons you'll be switching depends on enemy you are facing. Mind numbing poison is also a choice against casters. Offhand weapon is 1.4 speed dagger with deadly poison because of more frequent poison apply, and this poison stacks up to 5. Very important thing for beginners is to mention that Deadly Brew talent that instantly applies crippling poison, the poison that slows enemy whenever you hit enemy with any poison. So you don't use crippling poison ever. Your range weapon could have any of these poisons applied, depends on situation. Could be wound poison if enemy CC you and make a space, so you can apply wound poison from range. Could also use a deadly poison so you can keep your 5-stack deadly poison on target even if you are out of range, or instant for some more damage. Enough about poisons. First, let's check out the new abilities. There are Vendetta, Recuperate, Combat Readiness and Smoke Bomb. Vendetta is your single target most important ability, as it increases your damage down by 20% for 36 seconds, which is huge. You want to use it on your primer target before Cold Blood and 5 combo point in Venoms. All in all, the only thing you can fail here is if enemy uses some huge defensive cooldown or they hard CC you and you're out of trinket, and you can spend half of its duration for nothing. Then we got Recuperate. This is a brand new healing rogue ability. It requires combo points and it heals always the same amount each tick, but duration is different for each extra combo point spent. I love to spend 1 or 2 combo points in the middle of fight when Ruthlessness procs and give me 1 free combo point. Also great thing to use it is when you reach 5 combo point and you already forced enemy trinket with kidney shot. You just hit blind and 5 combo points recuperate and go stealth. Wait for heals and reopen. 5 combo point recuperate heals you for like 40 or 50,000 health, probably depending on gear, but it's insane. Then we have Combat Readiness, new defensive ability made for close melee combat, like Cloak of Shadows for casters. And very important is that also shares cooldown with Cloak of Shadows, so be careful. It is very good ability against melee face-to-face fights, where each of their attacks will deal 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% less damage in 20 seconds gap. And the last new ability is Smoke Bomb, which is mostly used against casters, but sometimes it can help even against melee enemies to re-stealth because you are not targetable out of 8-yard range unless enemy has some AoE damage like Blizzard, Orb, Warrior Jump and things like that. So they can't use single target attacks like any castable single target spell, no thrones, no death coils. Rotation part is very situational. I mean, there are things you want to use always, but rotation really depends on enemy class you are facing. If it's arena or not, if fight will be longer or shorter and stuff like that. In some shorter fights, even if enemy is same gear as you can play whole duel without single kidney shot. So what I mean by that? Kidney shot requires 5 combo points. Specific thing about Assassination Rogue is that our biggest damage finisher in Venom, which also requires 5 combo points, same as kidney shot. So if you use kidney, you waste 5 combo points and you literally don't have combo points to do damage for that time. And sometimes you don't even have energy for mutilate if you don't pull energy properly before the stun. Subtlety on other side, just kidney and start spitting ambushes and shadow dance, which hit like truck. Other thing that we can't use properly is Gouge, because our poison will cancel the effect, which means we don't have that variety of openers, but again order of abilities can be different from fight to fight. So in opener you either start with Cheap Shot or Garrote. Have in mind that Cheap Shot shares the air with Kidney Shot, which wasn't the case in Wrath of the Lich King. If you use it in opener, your kidney within 18 seconds will be just 3 seconds instead of 6. So you need to see if you're gonna use kidney or not in the beginning. So you can open with Garrote, not to make the air on stun. But you need then to watch out what class you're facing. If it's Hunter, Rogue, Warrior, there is no point in opening with Garrote since you can instantly be disarmed, blinded, gouged, since silence do absolutely nothing to them. But again, for example Paladin, which is hurt a lot if he gets silenced, because he's using abilities not basic attacks. You open with Garrote and slice and dice for 1 combo point, and he cannot stun you or repetence you because he's silenced. You follow the silence duration, you hit the 5 combo point with Mutilate and pull energy for 5 combo point Kidney Shot when Garrote is about to expire. If you crit Mutilate, you can get 5 combo point for that time. If you don't crit, there will be small gap in which he can stun you. But can Smoke Bomb to avoid the stun or just trinket the stun and continue until you reach 5 combo points for Kidney Shot. That means he will already lose like 20% health for that time while he is silenced. Then you go Kidney Shot, which now lasts 6 seconds, and in that moment he has to trinket that. If he trinkets, which he most likely will do because he couldn't do anything for like 5.5 seconds, which was the silence, you go with a blind with Glyphs blind into a sap and reopen with Garrote again. If he doesn't trinket, you won't use Cold Blood since you won't have much energy. After Kidney, Ruthlessness might proc and give you 1 point, which you're gonna use for Envenom to reset Slice and Dice, and then Mutilate Instant Rupture, wait for Kidney to expire into Dismantle, or sprint away in Smoke Bomb. He'll most likely Divine if you disarm him or Repentance heal. After Repentance you can cloak his dots and vanish away and reopen with full force. Other solution is to go without Kidney. Of course, I'm not talking just about paladins, but again enemies that is possible to do against. Enemies that depend on abilities where silence do its job. Cheap into Rupture to proc potential 4k damage and 10 energy refresh. Mutilate into Vanish, Garrote for silence and another venomous wounds. One more Mutilate for 5 combo points and then Cold Blood in Venom. Mutilate and Venom. It works great against stationary targets like Warlocks, Paladins without bubbles, DK sometimes, and some mages. There is example with Priest, you know he won't trick and Cheap Shot, which you use as opener to set all the things. Then when Cheap is about to expire, you go with Garrote and 5 combo point Cold Blood in Venom. And just go full aggression. You know he can't hurt you anyhow while he is stunned and then just silenced. And you don't need Kidney at all. So I can't show you rotation against each class because just this part would be 20 minutes long, so I'll point out the things you should care about. Cheap shots, DRs with kidney like we said. Then slice and dice is an option for a little bit longer fights where melee damage will be boosted and you need to be on target all the time. If you have enough combo points, this should be always an option in any fight. If you want to burst, you can go with one combo point Rupture on start to proc venomous wounds from start, which deals really nice damage and restores energy. Garrote plus Rupture is really deadly combo for burst in the opener. Use blind when enemy trinkets the kidney, or make 2 to 3 combo points before blind so you can heal up, recuperate, and stealth and sap and sap again and reopen. Other solution of using blind is to force enemy trinket after initial burst with Garrote opener and some damage. If he trinkets, you can simply go for 6 seconds kidney shot after that. Use Dismantle when you don't have evasion, or use it in opener after the cheap shot expires on targets like warriors, rogues, paladins, so you don't suffer much damage, but you use that just because you want to reopen, so you don't waste your main defensive ability like evasion, which you use in second opener. I don't know what much to talk about, rotation are very situational, depends on enemy, used abilities, races, trinkets, arena or not, and you know, there is a lot of stuff, so you need to understand your talents, your abilities, and you need to practice, and you will see what is the best option in each case. Okay, let's now see how this all looks in real fights. We have half season better gear paladin here. We will use straight bursting rotation without kidney shot, so for face-to-face fight we'll need to use evasion in opener. Don't use combat readiness because we'll need to re-stealth with Cloak of Shadows to remove dots later when he uses Divine Shield. So Garrote, Mutilate into Instant Vendetta, Cold Blood 5 combo points and Venom. Mutilate into 3 combo points Rupture and some more damage before he bubbled. Damage was freaking insane. Divine Shield into Cloak to remove dots instantly and vanish away. 3 combo points in Stealth for Recuperate and some saps before another opener for 15 to 20k heal. Again open with Garrote, Disarm, Mutilate, Rupture and just finish him off. Let's try opener with cheap shot into Rupture because we need more damage without cold blood. Then Disarm into Mutilate until 5 combo points and then in Venom without cold blood. Don't trick and repetence, you will eat 6 seconds stun after that. Now 5 combo points kidney shot and I was lucky, I had 2 crits and made 4 combo points after that in just 2 globals. He trinketed and I used blind. This could be played much better. I had 4 combo points and it was perfect to first blind and then use these points for recuperate instead. His pet followed me so I had to cloak and vanish, so I couldn't restealth even with dot to sap him like in this fight I'm showing you right now. I just had to cloak vanish this. Then Garrote, all in evasion, Vendetta 5 combo point in Venom, which he cancelled by using bubble. He was aware he can lose 30k HP in a second, but now I wasted my vanish and cloak because of a pet and I couldn't run away. And now I had to improvise with recuperate, making distance and then smoke bomb into 5 combo point kidney shot and then disarm after that. If I didn't force him tricking in the beginning, I would lose this fight. Fire mages are actually beatable unlike frost mages that can kill you literally in one combo. Point is to go very heavy in the beginning with Garrote and don't mind doing Cold Blood, Vendetta and Venom with 4 combo points unless they have 5 deadly poison stacks, because you might not have another chance. Point is to hit very fast Cold Blood in Venom and go with Rupture before silence from Garrote expires and he blinks or Dragon Breath on you. That might lead to fast Ice Block, which we need against mages. Don't use Cloak of Shadows until he uses Ice Block. I don't prefer to trinket Dragon Breath because you are vulnerable to Ring of Frost, Ice Block and then next Dragon Breath. You could see that I sprinted after he blinked. Don't waste sprint in opener, you will need it badly later. He was finished here, I used Saps to interrupt his evocation, and from now he just couldn't do anything. I cloaked because I know he doesn't have Ice Block and I don't have a trinket, so I needed to pre-cloak his Dragon Breath, and GG. This fight is much closer, we are 1% HP difference. All in all, point is to try to, like I said, hit that fast Cold Blood and Venom and set Rupture before he makes space. Keep Rupture and Garrote all the time, that's something that kills him hard in combination with Deadly Poison. So use every single combo point you can to reset the Rupture. 1 point, it's alright. Ideally it's good to use Vanish to completely reopen, but it doesn't happen often against Far Mage. So use it as an aggressive option to close a gap between you two. You won't be revealed for first 4 seconds. You can also use Blind as a gap closer and interrupt. After Ice Block you usually want to pre-cloak because you won't have Trinket at that time, and he plans to Dragon Breath and Polymorph. After that he plans to heal and reopen, so avoid it easily with a pre-cloak. Shadow Priests are one of the easiest enemies to beat. Open with Chip Shot because there is 95% chance that they won't trinket it and you want to use Vanish Garrote after that, so make sure to not make the air with double Garrote. To Chip Shot, just one Mutilate, adjust, stand and pull energy, and when Chip Shot is about to expire, you hit Vanish Garrote for 4.5 more seconds silence. Where Priest is out of shield, Silenced can renew the shield and you are already ready to hit Vendetta 5 combo point in Venom. If you are fast and lucky, you may even hit Rupture before his Fear. When Silence expires, they cast Horror or Fear. If it's Fear, just instantly trinket and tunnel. If it's Horror, don't trinket, just wait it to pass. Cloak is made to remove dots if he starts casting Vampiric Touch and other dots on Horror.